we'll do is when we come to painting, we'll paint some damage or something here to make it look unique from the others. And that's the look I'm going for. If this was an Imperial depot, I would be sitting here trying to make every one of these grates look exactly the same. Okay, if Darth Vader shows up to an Imperial depot and the place looks like a mess, well, somebody's getting force choked, right? All right, well, welcome back, everybody. Doofus Bob here. And we are going to continue with our spaceport. Now, it's actually been quite a while. So between this video and the previous one, about 4 months have gone by. So I ended up getting a little busy. I started a gaming channel where if you want to watch me play Tales of the Shire, and then I think in the next couple of weeks we'll start uploading the Novus Ascension. That's a mod pack, and I think you'll enjoy it if you like Skyrim. But for the spaceport, we're going to focus on these terrain tiles today. So as you can see, since the last video, I should say, I've added some stuff here. We got some droids. We got Grogu up here, drinking some soup while looks like he knocked over a droid. We got our A-Wing with our pilot here. I'm going to work on the resolution and the sharpness. Just bear with me. It's much easier to do the video games than it is this one, because I think my camera's okay and the microphone is okay. It could be better. So here's our marketplace, and we've added some figures there. And we've got our Y-Wing here now. Boba Fett's ship. Actually, that's Jango Fett's, I believe. Our old X-Wing from 1978, the E-Wing. And of course, we got the Ghost here. You'll see some junk in the background there, don't worry about it. So, I love the Ghost. You can just see how nice it looks as we walk around. Trying to get the lighting right too. This is all a work in progress. Mainly, you can leave negative comments about the audio quality and the video quality if you want to, but this is mainly fun for myself. Now, and I want to show you some of the stuff I'm going to do. And if you want to display your starships the way I want to, or the way you want to, but using some of the techniques I show you. So we're going to focus today on these tiles. So I found these terrain tiles online. I downloaded them to a Word document, and I cut them out with paper. Okay, I'm going to show you this in a minute here. And now today, we're going to glue these onto a black foam board. Because just moving pieces of paper, you can see they're starting to curl up in some places. We're going to glue them down. We're going to keep them modular. We're going to glue the paper to the foam board, but we're not going to glue the foam board to the tarmac here. Because that way I can move it and change it around the way I'd like. Remember, I want to keep everything modular. I've already moved things around several times. Some of the ships have been moved around, and some of the figures, some of the barricades, all that stuff has been moved around. All right. Well, I'm gonna move the Razor Crest here and set up my camera and work in this spot here and show you how we're gonna do this today. All right. So we're back. I moved the Razor Crest out of the way, and what I have is some black foam board. I got this, I think it was a pack of 100 off of Amazon for, I think it was like 20 bucks or something like that. It's thin stuff. It's kind of got the foam core in the middle, It's not as thick as some of the other foam board because I don't want heavy duty like I think this is eighth of an inch. I don't need quarter-inch stuff, right? So I'm gonna put the link into the description of the video as to where I found this. Now some of these, let me think. This one and this one I had to pay for. Okay, and by pay for, I think it was like I think they had you donate a few dollars. I donated, I think, $3. Okay, this one also was from the same website, and it just they're tiles. You can use them to make a 12 by 12 landing area. So I thought this was pretty cool. It does have English letters on here. Let's see if I can get nice and close here. There you go. And it's fine. It's fine. That doesn't bother me too much. Yeah, I can always print out some stuff in Oravesh on paper and then glue it on like I did over here, which you can't see that. But what we want to do is I'm going to show you. So this is how this one came. This is the tiles that were sitting across over here. You see them in the background. This is how it came out onto Word. Okay, I just printed on a piece of paper, liberated some paper from work, if you will.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit. Then pay with your blood.
If anybody from work is watching, I'm just kidding. I didn't actually do that, but I did. Okay, and then what I did is I sat down and I cut out. I think there's about 25 of these here. Okay, and for this one, what I decided to do was I didn't want all this stuff around here really. So what I did is I just sat down some scissors and I cut just the part that I wanted. Okay? And so this and this we'll put on the foam board and we'll trace out some stuff. Now this right here, if you saw in the video at the beginning, underneath all the starships up there and what the Razor Crest was sitting on was, it's hard to pick up once I put it down. This is the same as this, but what I did is I blew it up. Okay, I just enlarged it, right? This right here is this. So I cut it out into, I couldn't get it all to fit on we didn't have any really large paper. So I just put it on regular 8 by 11 paper, and then I cut it out. And what we'll do is we'll glue each of the 4 bits onto some foam board, and then we'll make a complete piece. And this is for obviously the larger starships that will be landing here, like where the Razor Crest was. Okay? So when it comes to terrain tiles, if you look online, and I encourage you to look at other YouTube videos, there's people out there doing it better than I am. Remember, all this is just for me. I'm not displaying this at a Comic-Con or making money off of it or anything like that. This is something I always want to do. And again, as I said maybe 8 or 9 videos ago, this is all practice. Because the next project, which we should start hopefully next month, is the Battle of Hoth series. That's the one I'm looking for. We're going to a big snowscape. We got an AT-AT. We've got a lot of little Star Wars Legion figures. And we're going to build, it's going to be roughly the same size. The spaceport will probably be moved up into my living room. And then we'll start working on the Hoth down here. Really looking forward to it. That's the one that I was originally going to start with, but I was watching some videos and everybody said, start with either a small project or another project. not your main one that you're really looking forward to, so you can get some good experience. And I think that was a great idea. Also, if you haven't, grab yourself a cup of coffee. I think today I'm having a chocolate flavored coffee with the Coffee Mates peppermint mocha flavor. So, all right. I showed you that. I showed you this. You saw, so this piece here that I just showed you, this is what it looked like when just on paper. And what I also have, move these over here, is some other tiles that look like graded flooring, right? That looks like steel plates that you would put down. Okay, they've got a little added light feature there. And so what I did is I printed off a lot of those. Here's another one, right? And so I'm thinking this one and the previous one I just showed you would look great up on the second floor. I also found this looks like a little looks like a floor with a little safety hatcher, don't step here type thing. What else have I got? Oh, these are good. And then here's some, again, looks like just metal plating that you would see maybe at an airport or a space station or maybe a depot, right? Okay. So you can find a variety of these online. I encourage you to take a moment, and when you get these, you can always right click on an image, take it that way, print it out, and be done with it. But people have put a lot of work into these, and they're usually not charging ridiculous amounts of money. It's a donation to some of these places. Some places do charge a flat rate or something, but it's a couple dollars. So pay them for their work. Don't just take it. That's where I'm. I like to pay people for their work. Okay. All right. So let me put these out of the way, and then we will start cutting the foam board. So let me show you a couple of things that I did. So those pages I just showed you, I took them and I just cut them out, right? Here's the one metal grate that looks pretty small, but it looks small, but if you picture, let's grab Mando here. If you picture Mando standing on here, one grate is about the size of his foot. It's actually, to be honest, maybe a little small, but it's fine. It's fine. I just want to give it a look. Compared to the spaceships, it'll look fine. He does not like to stand up. Okay. Okay. Here's another one. Bigger version. Maybe a smaller version. Now, the reason they're not the same size is because I decided I'm going to have some placed randomly that are different sizes. This is not an Imperial spaceport. Okay, if it was Imperial, then it would have a whole lot of, I'm just checking to make sure we're recording. Yes, we would have a whole lot of clean, everything is the same, everything is spotless, everything is to military grade, right? Whereas the Rebels, everything's cobbled together, everything's dirty, everything looks like it's about to fall apart. But I didn't want to go Rebel and I didn't want to go Imperial. I just want a spaceport, okay? Because I will get very picky if it's Imperial. It has to look a certain way, and I didn't want to put that kind of effort into my first build. It would drive me crazy. I would probably start leaning towards perfection, and I always recommend you not do that. And I don't want it to be as dirty as Rebel. So this, imagine a free port, you know? They're accommodating anybody who comes along. They're neither Imperial nor Rebel, and it's just a place for you to stop and refuel. Okay, so we got all these. I'm gonna move these out of the way. It's really hard to pick these up off the tarmac here. But I wanted to show you these. Okay, put that over there. Okay, so we picked up a few of the ones we're going to cut out right now. So I'm going to show you how to do some of this on this board, and then we'll glue it down and kind of show you how I'm going to lay it out. I'm not going to do all 25 or 30 of these, and I'm certainly not going to do all this stuff here at the moment. But I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do it, and then at the start of the next video, you'll see all the tiles laid out. Again, I'm not going to glue. So here's one tile that's already cut, right? Once I'm going to glue this here, but I'm not going to take this and then glue it here onto the tarmac because I want it modular. I want to be able to move it around. This one isn't quite the right size, but we'll fix that. Okay, so this is real easy. What I did is I picked one that I did a fairly decent job cutting on. Okay, and what I did is I'm just going to put it over here, line it up. You can get about 10 of these onto this one, and of course you'll get fewer of this larger one here. And you know what? Here's what we're going to do, right? I'll try to keep this in the camera here, and I'll make this real easy. You can be as anal about this as you want. Okay, I mentioned going for perfection. If you're one of those people that has to go, by all means, go for perfection. I'm not one of those people. Okay, no one is coming here with a magnifying glass to say, oh, you did this wrong or you did that wrong. I don't like people like that. I don't let them in my house. So here we go. Okay, don't get any more complicated than this. I'm going to do this so I can not cut my finger. So I'm just cutting along here. You can see. This one. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to come down the other way. All right. So I always tell you I'm going to show my mistakes. And I'll show you one that I'm doing right now. A smart person would put his cutting board down before he does this. So, fortunately, we didn't do too much damage here. Okay. Here we go. So, we cut this way and we cut that way. You can see. And then it's foam board. So, it should just snap off, but it didn't. Let's give it another little score here. And we'll go this way. Okay. There you go. So now we can just take this, glue it down. There we go. You see on the back side, I'm a little bit off over here. So we can cut that off. Again, this is not a clean imperial port. Okay, this is if some of the grates or the walkways are a little scruffed up or whatever, because we're going to go back through. There's going to be an episode where we're just painting stuff, right? Where we're gonna get probably some orange paint and just kind of dirty this up a little bit. We've got this. We'll put down a layer of glue. We'll glue this down. Then we'll cover this with glue, and that'll give us a nice protective layer. And then we can go back through with some orange or to make it look rusty. Then we can put down some. Maybe some dark wash to make it look dirty, you know? But for now, we'll do this. Okay, so I showed you how we cut that. And so you can get, for this particular size, you can see you can get 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 here, that's 8. You can go this way and get 10, or you can just come down this way, get 5 and 5 that way. Whatever works for you, okay? I'm going to push this out of the way. Let's put that down there. Now, let's try our little work area here. So then, once we get a bunch of these cut out, say like this, Then we'll get some of our Elmer's glue here. This I got off, where was this? It's probably Amazon. I get most stuff off Amazon. I got to help Mr. Bezos pay for those super yachts. And you can get off Amazon, I think, for like maybe $20. You can go to your local hardware store if we have a Menards here. I think they have it there for maybe like 25. Okay, just gonna put some layer of glue. Of course, I could just bring that closer to me, right? Doing this and then doing this so I can show you how I'm doing is just two different things. Because I'm looking here, I'm looking at the camera to make sure we've got good coverage, video-wise. And then I got the shadows from the light because my light source is not fantastic. The gaming channel is easy. I don't show myself in a gaming channel. I use OBS to record it, and that's it. I add some funny stuff here and there, and we're good to go. This is a whole other thing. I have pictures on the wall from Star Wars conventions with me and my friends, but I try not to show you those because I can ask permission from them, and I hang out with the kind of people that would be okay with that. But I don't want to do that, right? Because now they're in videos on YouTube. They're probably going to be there forever. Well, until World War III, which if you look at politics, is probably not too far off. Okay. So you saw that. I just glued that on there. End of story. Look at that. So now you know how this is. You can look over here. If I put that down, you can see it's curling up here, definitely here. Because I've been moving this around for a couple months. Now we can just move this around however we want to. It should stay. What we can do is once this dries, so I could put a layer of glue on top of this right now since I got the glue. But now you've got glue drying between the paper and the phone and glue on top. Paper is porous. So let the air go through the paper and let that part dry first. Then after maybe a day, go back with your Elmer's glue and do the top, right? Okay, so let's do another one. Just a generous layer there. Now, some glues, so I'm covering the whole thing here, okay? Elmer's glue is pretty forgiving, okay? But this next statement kind of applies to Elmer's too. Some glues, and I'll demonstrate here. Okay, so right now you can see I've got this whole thing covered. Gorilla Glue, Tactite, or not Tactite, Loctite, some of these others, you don't want to do it this way. Because once I put the paper down, the paper is porous, so some of the air is going to go through the top. But let's say I'm doing two pieces like this, because maybe I want a thicker piece of foam. This is not porous. So if I were to put this on top of here, the part of the glue that air reaches is the part that's going to make contact and adhere, okay? Some glues, like Gorilla Glues and whatnot, there's no point to you covering the whole thing because this middle part here will never see air. It'll stay in a semi-liquid state for quite a while as air slowly starts to get in through all the in-between parts of the edges. So for those glues, what they actually recommend is you do something like this. Okay, watch this. Okay, so if you see what I did there, let me just wipe this here for a moment. Okay, so now, let's say I put this on here. because I wanted to make it thicker. I need a thicker piece. So this part out here will dry. If I had glue here in the middle, like that, the air is not going to reach that, okay? It'll never dry. It'll never adhere properly, okay? So that's just something to keep in mind when you're playing with glue and stuff. It needs air. Now, some of them, like Gorilla Glue and stuff, they actually use water as a contact. But believe it or not, and Gorilla may not like people saying this, that rule I just told still makes sense. Air is still involved. You don't think it is, but I have glued some stuff with various glues over the years. And they say, mix with water or another solvent or something and just hold together, you're good to go. Super glue, okay, ultra tight stuff. Same thing. If the handle of this cup, you always see the commercial, right? They put the handle breaks off, and they put just like a whole bunch of glue on there, and they stick it in, and 2 minutes later, oh, you're good to go. No, not quite. If you do a circle so that this outer part, the air reaches, it'll hold. If you just slather a whole bunch like this, only the outer part will hold, but that's not thick enough. Okay? And that'll come in handy. That's good knowledge to have when you're building stuff like this. Right now, I don't have any, I haven't layered a bunch of foam like this and made like a support structure. When we go to build the Battle of Hoth, when we cut a lot of foam, extruded foam, styrofoam, all that, we're going to be layering stuff. We're going to use hot glue or Gorilla Glue to hold it. And we're going to have to follow that rule because we need it to be strong. It's going to be holding a lot of Mod Podge. It's going to have to hold the AT-AT, all the vehicles, the snow, the figures, all this stuff. You're gonna, you want to make sure your support structures are strong. Okay? So now I've probably been sitting here talking too long. So my little work table is actually behind me, but I didn't show you. So here's a piece that still has a little bit of white on there. So I'm going to cut some of that off. Careful not to cut my fingers off. There we go. There's some on this side here. There we go. A little bit on this corner. Okay. I just realized I wasn't even in camera. Okay, here we go. I'm just cutting some of the edges off here. I didn't miss anything. Okay. We'll just put that on there. Move it around. So, there we go. That's good. Now, this is a good one to show you where we can have some pieces that are a little different. Okay? Okay, so here it looks pretty good. But look at the back, right? The foam came out a little small. So what I'll do is I'll come on the back here. Now I'm just going to cut this off. And what I end up with is a grate or a walkway tile that is different from that one. And look, it's lopsided. That's okay. That's okay. So what we'll do is when we come to painting, we'll paint some damage or something here to make it look unique from the others. And that's the look I'm going for. Triple time I'm saying this. Third time. If this was an Imperial depot, I would be sitting here trying to make every one of these grates look exactly the same. Okay, if Darth Vader shows up to an Imperial depot and the place looks like a mess, well, somebody's getting force choked, right? But this is a free port. They're probably charging these people fees. They need to maintain an attractive business so people come. It's minimal fees to use this spaceport. They don't have a lot of money. So they're going to have uneven grates. We're going to put some holes in the tarmac. Maybe one of the things I wanted to do was to use one of these smaller pieces. We'll glue it onto some foam board. Actually, you know what? That's the right size. That is the right size. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and do this real quick. The glue is still. Glue is still wet. See, how big do we need? A little bit more. Take your time. Measure. I'm working a little quick because, I've noticed ever since YouTube changed the rules and now you can have, 1, 2, 3, 4 hour videos. People are uploading these god awful long videos. I mean, if you're like, I'm playing in one of my Tales of the Shire videos was, I think, two hours, but that's a video game. You can just put that on and just let go. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and cut this. Okay. And then we'll trim this off here. Trim off a little bit more. That is, there we go. Okay, so now you got this piece here. My thought was, so let's say one of the ships has a hard landing, right? And I'm not going to cut into it now. What I was thinking was, you're going to have a patch here or something, and this would make a great patch. We just put that there. That was stuck to my hand. Okay. And just randomly put there, it'll break up the monotony of the black tarmac. And we'll be doing that throughout. So up on the second level, that's where these will come in. Okay, so picture a piece like this, and then another piece. Let's see, where did I put the one I just cut? Oh, here it is. So let's take this one. Let's go ahead and do this right now. I've got you guys here. I think that should be big enough. Yep, a little more. Let's put that down. Okay. So now we'll take this. We'll put that on here like this. Okay, I'll go ahead and trim off some bits here. Get that off. Okay, so now you've got this piece. So picture the second level. I'm pointing over there, but you can't really see it. You've got a tile like that, or maybe a tile like this, right? And then you've got a section that has that, and now this on there. So if you've ever walked up to like a industrial area, and you'll see they've got different levels of metal grates and plates and whatnot. Now, see, we just create a nice little three-dimensional whatever this is. Looks like a vent for a factory or something like that. And that's really all I'm going for. The second floor was supposed to be something different, but I could never make up my mind on how I wanted to do it. I looked at putting screen down or gratings or this or that. I wandered hardware stores just to see if I could find something, and nothing really jumped out to me. So I'm going to go with these terrain tiles here. Okay? All right. Well, how long have I been recording now? A little while. So that's the square ones. Let's look at the bigger ones. So I showed you the pieces of paper with this one on there, okay? So let's move all this out the way. Let's push that way. Move that little friend there. Okay. So I cut out, same thing, okay? You got your foam board. You put your piece down, and then I went around it with the utility knife. You can draw on it too, and then cut it. But what I found was that depends on the pen and the marker I'm using, and the edges were just a little bit over all the time. So I just used the utility knife while sitting on my cutting board here, and I cut out all the pieces. Okay. All right. So let's take these pieces we've got, right? So they're gonna come together like this. Okay. And they're not bad. They're not bad. Okay, so now you're going to have this nice little raised landing platform. It'll differentiate from the rest of the tarmac here. So we're going to do the same thing. Let's just start gluing all this on here. I'm not going to do all of them because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these to do. And let's see, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I forgot about the razor press, that's the one this one's for. I'm just going to do this one. And then that'll be the video. I could do the thing where you speed it up and then show all that, but what I'll do is I'll do this and then take an after video and talk about it while I'm doing it. Everything looks a bit of a mess because I've been working for a couple hours now. So we took all those paper cutouts and we put them all on backboards. Okay, we've got a bunch. Now, for this one, if you remember, I actually had 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. But as I started doing it, I thought, well, I'm probably not going to use the individual wedges for anything I can think of. And I can always print out more copies and do it if I need to. So I glued all the pieces of paper down to the foam board, and then I just cut out the entire piece. So that will go right here, and you've got this fantastic looking landing platform. So the two smaller ones, we had an A-wing here, and then we had our speeder bite there, which is where our security, hold on, there you go. Got some stuff here. And we'll move our Ugnaught fella over here. This is where the speeder bike will go, probably the security vessel later. And what I did is stack these up. And I move all my little pylons right here. Okay? So let's start putting some of these out. Let's see how. So again, we're modular. And one of the original reasons for doing this was to cover up the seams, because I didn't do a great job when I first cut it. Again, first project here. So for the next one, we'll probably do a much better job with the seams. But we can use this to just kind of cover that up. Got this great walkway going here. And now we can just make it like this. It's however you want to do it, okay? However you want to do it. I'm going to be happy with getting this mostly done. And I can always go back and touch it up with paint and other stuff. Now, if you look up here, it's kind of hard to tell, but I'll get the camera and zoom in. I had a lot of tile cutouts for the second floor. And I kept thinking, okay, I can mount those onto the black foam board like I said. But as I started doing it, I was like, that's going to be a lot of work. And the whole floor is modular, meaning I can just pick up that whole level and walk off. So if I glue the paper directly onto it, that's fine, okay? I'm not covering up seams or anything like that. So I'll grab the camera here towards the end, and we'll do a final zoom in, and I'll talk as I'm going. All right? I'm going to lay these out over here. We'll start over here. All right, so let's probably do it like this. What I like is, again, I keep saying this, but these are movable, right? So if I don't like it tomorrow, I can change it. It's not really matching up well over there. Got a bit of a rise here. And I think the reason that this has risen so much is because I was out of town for a couple of days, and it got really hot here in my basement, and I think the plastic table might have worked a little bit. Not much. It wasn't that hot, but it was warm enough. Yeah. And this one over here. Okay. It's not really matching up well. So what I might do is take one of these and maybe cut it and put it in between here. I'll think about it. Right now, we're going to do it like this. And then I'll probably just leave it for a little while. So this one right here, you can see here. This one, I've got the walkway kind of angled over here. This doesn't match up well. Same thing. What I can do is I can go in. I'll put this down here. Maybe put a line on the back and cut a little triangular piece. You can do that. Let's move this to match it up better. Yeah. That goes there. I don't like that. Just move this. Move that down. And you over. Probably gonna need another piece. Okay. Yeah, oh, there we go. There we go. If we move this a little bit, like this, and actually, what we'll do is put this underneath like this. That way the gate, you see the gate will still close. Okay. Now that's underneath it. And that works out there. We can even double up like this if we want to. But I kind of need these for over here. So I'm going to walk around now. I'm going to put these over here. Now you can't see what I'm doing over here. Just barely. But I'll grab the camera in a minute. I just want to keep talking to you. And that just fits in. So now the black tread on these doesn't really match up nicely. I'm going to leave it for now because I want to think about a few things. And I've got 5 left here. So let me grab the camera, and I'm going to do kind of a walk around, and then I'll put the starships down. These are not straight, are they? There we go. Okay. All right. Sorry about the jitteriness of the camera. Okay. Still kind of getting used to all this. Okay, here we go. So we've got our large landing platform, the 2 small ones. We've got the walkways over here. Now, I'll just grab one of these. Again, you see, modular. Little dent on the back there, but it's fine. Okay, let's see. Let's get a better image here. go around to the ghost on this side. Okay, so we've got a walkway here. We got our barricades. Now I'm going to come a little closer on the second level. So what I did, and this isn't pretty, okay? So again, it's paper with kind of a water-based glue. So you'll see some creasing here and there, right here, right over there. I did put just a little bit of glue over here just to keep these from sliding around on me. And I'm going to leave it like that for now. I did a couple hours ago. I popped one up. It pops up real easily, and we should be fine. We should be fine. So you can see some of them have the extra little piece there on top, signifying, I don't know, some kind of a hatch or something. We've got the Y-wing sitting there. So for the second floor, I'm going to go back over it with some paint, and I will show you what I do there once I decide kind of what I want to do. What else? Let's see. Let's walk back around this way. Okay. I really like the landing platforms. I mean, you know, what you could do here is you could start cutting each of these pieces out, put foam underneath them, kind of make it textured, like, you know, cut this out, cut that out, cut this out, and then put what's left on a piece of paper, then cut out more foam pieces and lay it on top, kind of make it three-dimensional. If you want to put that much work into it, you're sure, go for it. For this particular build, I'm not looking to get that deep. I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. Is it perfect? I don't think so, but I think it satisfies what I'm trying to do. Let's lower this a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to put all the stuff back in place and see how it all looks. Get our barricades. We'll show you a final look here. I'm gonna tell you, I watched the new Superman movie yesterday. Last night, actually, after I was working on some of this, and I really liked it. I did. You know, it's another reboot, which I'm getting tired of them constantly rebooting stuff. But in this case, I thought it was done fairly well. The addition of, well, no spoilers. Let me think about it. Okay, there's spoilers here. So if you don't want to hear who else shows up in the Superman movie, which I think they were in the trailer anyway, but I won't tell you who one of the main bad guys turns out to be. You can see that for yourself. But they had Hawkgirl in there, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho was in there. It was pretty good. I liked it. It wasn't. I guess it's just another reboot. You know, I'm getting tired of them rebooting that universe constantly. And one of the reasons it's being rebooted is because DC's management has changed and changed and changed. Right now, James Gunn is the one who's leading it. You know, he did Guardians of the Galaxy. Actually, I'm going to move these two and put the little ones here. The big ones there. And maybe there. Okay. All right, let's take all our stuff, little boxes and whatnot. This, we'll just put you up here. You look like you belong up here. Okay. All right. I'm not going to put all the figures back yet. I tend to move those around quite a bit. Okay, so I can't, you didn't see it, but this, I'll tell you what, yesterday and today has just been a nightmare filming this video. My camera has just been acting funny, I had to stop. It said the SD card was full, but it still had at least 10 gigabytes left. So I had to run upstairs to where I keep my gaming computer and everything, and just delete a couple videos, and then it started acting fine. Okay, so we put our ships back, and now, you know, from the camera's point of view, it doesn't look a whole lot different. But obviously, we did this, right? This is not the first time I'm showing you. So let's just kind of do an overview here. I haven't put all the droids and figures back on yet because I tend to move those around. That's not what I'm showcasing here. That was me kicking the camera. At least the stand, anyway. You see what I'm talking about with issues? Well, this is an okay camera. I got this on Amazon. I think I paid like $80 for it. It's on sale. It's not bad. It just says 6K Ultra Wi-Fi. It's probably a Chinese knockoff. You get what you pay for. You know, the really good ones are like $1,000. I want to spend $1,000 right now. If I did, I'd enhance my GPU on my gaming computer. So we got our Y-wing. We put this little fella here, which is just double layer. It looks like some sort of a hatch or something, or just set up. We'll leave that for the moment. So eventually our marketplace here will be turned into, we'll paint that and do some stuff to it. I'll make a video of that too. I just haven't decided what to do with it. And let's walk around here. We got our A-wing here. You can see, nicely done. We've got our walkway now built. Let's take a further step back. There you go. Let's move some lighting around here. I'm talking about everything I'm doing while I'm doing this, in case you decide you want to do something like this too. It is tedious. You know, you gotta learn the software for DaVinci Resolve, and you know, if you're using OBS to do gaming stuff, or just getting a camera that's not overly expensive, especially right now, everything's so expensive. So we got our walkway going here, we got our barricades, and here's our, let me see here. There we go. Zoom in, zoom out here. There's our E-wing. You can see it sitting on the platform. I'm sorry about the jitteriness here. Here, let's do it like this instead. There we go. So most of the feet for the ships are on the actual landing platform. Suppose I could have made those bigger. And that's so if you do something like this, what I probably should have done was measured the landing feet of each of the ships and kind of make the platform or the pad to that size. You can see the feet are just coming off of some of them. That's okay. It's all right. You know, again, this is going to sit in my living room or something, and it's just going to sit there, and I'm going to look at it while I'm watching movies and stuff. I'm actually quite happy with it. Is there room for improvement? Sure. But I am now at a point where I think I'm going to start making the Battle of Hoth scenes set up. We're going to start talking about that. And so, here we are. What's next? I mentioned the Greeblies and painting some stuff here and there on the tarmac. The pedestals that are holding up the second floor there, you can see, you see? Yeah, you should be able to see some of those back there. Probably put some black or some dark wash on there. Make it look a little dirty, a little greasy, you know. Again, this is a Freeport. Let's see, if you watched, I can't remember which season of Mandalorian that was. where he I think that might have been the first season where they break out the Twilight guy from the prison ship. That space station is, if you look at the hangar bay and everything, it looked a bit dingy. They didn't care about it being clean. They needed the space, and they were using it as a base of operations. And that's kind of what I'm going for here, except picture this not on a space station, but maybe on the outskirts of a colony or something. It's just a spaceport. So I'm going to think about what kind of dry brushing I can do. And so for the next episode, we will probably dedicate one episode to just painting and stuff. And I have to think about how I want to do that. And then the episode after that, we might break out some greeblies, put some stuff. Because for that one, I'm going to need a different table. Because I've got totes full of stuff I've taken apart. All sorts of cool little things that we can put on there. So that'll be the episode after that. And then we'll step away from this for a while. That'll be, let's see, this is September, 19th or 20th, I think. So that'll take us up for the rest of September. And then October, I'm going to start a new series with the Battle of Hoth. We'll get some foam, and we'll probably take an entire video just planning out what we want to do. And then we'll start putting down the sealant and everything. And I'm going to show a lot more step-by-step stuff with that one. For this one, as I've said several times, I was learning a lot on how to do this. I had never done any of this, okay? This is I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos of other people doing it. And everything you saw me doing, I saw people doing on YouTube. And I've just kind of decided to just jump into it and let's see how it goes. And it turned out well. It turned out really well. This is something I can display somewhere. And I'll probably keep working on this over the next, probably years. Maybe once or twice a year I'll make a video about it after September here. Okay? All right. Hey, Doofus Bob here. The Spaceport continues. And I will see you in the next one. And we'll do some painting. And we'll start sorting out some greeblies. Okay? All right, everybody. If you want to look and see how to do terrain tiles and stuff, this is the episode for that. Trying to think of what else to say. Like and subscribe. And I hope you're having a great time. All right? See you later.